Hey guys, we're excited you're on. Who has come relaxed from convention? It was an amazing week, right? Yes, it was so awesome. So today we wanted to do a convention wrap up, and we have asked several of our team members to give us a couple of their notes or their takeaways from each breakout session. And so if you weren't at convention, we had main sessions and then we had breakout sessions. And our breakout sessions were ambassador to silver ambassador, gold to senior gold, ruby to senior ruby, jewels, and then there was a May ambassador breakout as well, which was standing room only. I was so excited to see that. So anyways, we have asked several of our teammates to just give they're a very short wrap up because we could be on here all day if we talked about all the great things that happened at convention, right? But we need to be respectful of everybody's time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And so we actually have 3 from our ambassador to silver ambassadors. And first off, we're going to ask Megan White to go ahead and tell us what she learned in that breakout session.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Megan White. I'm a silver ambassador. Just a fun few facts that I took down. The brush check kit lasts 10 years, and that was the first time I've ever heard that, so that was kind of cool. We won the #1 marketing material for our success kit in the American Marketing Association. I thought that was really neat as well. Victor went over the block, and this was a few changes for the block product. It's a veggie cap. It's fast acting. They added chromium, reduced the white kidney bean. It's a smaller size now. It's non-GMO. So those are just a few facts from the changes from the block. Also, I'm sure everyone knows, but to share the new products, you're able to go into your back office under tools and then shareables. And it's a neat way to market our new products. A few quotes from Rita Davenport. I thought that was really good. Is if it was easy, it would be sleazy. Another one, I am the greatest. I really like that one. Another quote that I really like from her is do what you want to do for a little while so that you can do what you want forever. Rebecca, she was our social media, I think it's Rebecca Falks. How do you pronounce her last name, Beth?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh, okay. This is just a few things that I took away from her social media. Be genuine and authentic, not salesy. And I think everybody knows that we don't need to be salesy, especially when posting on Facebook, because people don't like to see salesy posts like ads and stuff. Another thing that I thought was kind of cute and funny, she said the TAP, which stands for that ain't Plexus. So if you see somebody, negative or it just doesn't pertain as far as, whatever with Plexus, that was kind of cute how she said it. Post positive, not negative. I know a lot of people, I see it all the time. This is just one example of like politics and, getting that involved on your page. I personally don't do that because it always starts arguments or like debates. And, I don't think that's necessary. She said a good time to post is 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 8 p.m. That's normally when I post as well. I post right whenever I wake up and then around lunchtime and then at night. Another thing she said that wasn't actually compliant was adding your website to the post. I stopped doing that. I know that there are some people that are still doing that. And I mean, I guess that's not compliant.
I think it's the Facebook thing too. Like they can like put you in jail or something if you do that enough. They can flag it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But I do know that Facebook can do that as well.
Okay. Never share posts. Take the time to recreate them. That's a big deal. It just, to me, it shows that if I share a post or, you know, not recreating it. It's just kind of like pure laziness. Unless it's some funny video or something like that you see of a cat or dog, you know, those silly videos. But especially like Plexus posts. Another cool thing, I don't know if you guys heard the Success on Demand. You're going to be able to access tons of book summaries, audios, and videos for free. I'm not sure the details on that. I'll probably just get with Arielle on it, or Beth, just to see how to access that if we need like to create a login or password or something. Also, something new that Plexus is doing is the rank up roadmap, and I thought that was really neat. It's just an easy way to see how to rank up in Plexus. I have a few more things. Sarah Marble was one of our trainers, and I get asked this a lot, what do you do? And if I say I'm a Plexus ambassador, that just leaves, you know, questions for the other person that's asking. Instead, maybe you could say something like, I provide people with the opportunity to improve their health and wellness. I really like that comeback if someone asks you, what do you do? So Sheila Medina was one of our trainers for the Silver Ambassadors. A few key points that I learned from her is just being active on social media is not an option. You must do that. It's not where you get all of your business, but you definitely need to be consistent with that. If you share your personal business, it's now part of your personal business. So if you don't want someone knowing, you know, the negativity, or if you're sick or whatever, just don't post it. There's no need to do that, because once it gets on social media, everybody knows. We share, we don't sell, and I'm sure most of you guys know that. Another thing that I thought was really neat that she said, she listed what Plexus means. I guess this is from what I take on it, but it's products that work. L is life-changing opportunity. E, executives that are the best. X marks the spot of your why. U, you are the best ambassador on your team. And S stands for see you in Hawaii. I thought that was pretty neat.
Awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my take on convention.
Was this your first time to be there?
No, I went to Phoenix last year.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool deal. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. So
Okay.
The next person that we have is Jessica. And is it Seam or Sime? I never know how to say it.
It's Sime.
Sime. Okay. And this was your first time to be at convention, correct?
This was my first convention, and holy cow, I mean, it was amazing. I just can't say enough good things about it. We had so many people in our Ambassador to Silver Ambassador breakout session. It was like more than half of all the people at convention. So it was pretty insane to see that. And we also got to sit down in the front where all the jewels sit. So that was kind of cool too. So I first will start out by saying, get to convention. I have heard that so many times from my upline, from my sidelines, I mean, everybody. And I always blew it off. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But they're not joking. Like I thought I had an amazing belief in the products in the company, but you guys, it is so much more now. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, Sarah Marble started out, and we, for our session, we talked about the success kit. So, what I really liked was that, that's what all the ambassadors get now when they sign up. I really liked that Sarah Marble said that she still uses hers. So, the product cards, she said, just if you're meeting with someone, take them with you, and you can just read off of them if you have to. And so then that person sees that and they're like, oh, well, I can do that. I can read off of a card. So use the tools that they give you. Be a product of the product. Another thing, the elevator speech. Think of what your elevator speech is. What do you do? Memorize it and use it so that you have a quick go-to when people ask what you do. Be a good active listener, because that's how you're going to be able to communicate with somebody.
Hey, Jessica, I'm going to stop you for just a second. Hey, guys, we have some major background noise going on. If you are not muted, if you can please mute yourself. I can't figure out who it is. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Nope, that's fine. Also, when somebody asks you, or if you're telling somebody about your personal testimony, don't tell them about any diseases or personal illnesses you have, because they might not relate to that, and so they're not going to want to listen any further. So, make it more broad and talk about, like, if you're tired or irritable or overweight, don't talk about specifics. Then Sheila Medina spoke, and she is the very first Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. She shared the products and the opportunity. Sorry. Ask questions and listen for their why. She gave us an acronym, FORD. F is ask about family. O is ask about occupation. R is ask about recreation, their hobbies, what they like to do. And D is ask about their dreams, freedom, money, and time. So I really liked that. So just remember FORD. Never take no personally. So you'll always hear this, go for no. That means you're asking more people, right? Not everybody's going to say yes. They always pointed down to the floor where all the jewels were sitting, and they said, these people down here have heard the most no's out of everybody in this arena. And they're at the top of the company now. So go for no. She also said, this was another acronym, and it's KISS. And she said, keep it simple, sweetie. You don't want to try to make it over the top. Just keep it simple, short and sweet. She also said to have events, attend opportunity meetings. She said she had her very first opportunity meeting in her car. So you can do it anywhere. I thought that was pretty cool. Rebecca, she talked about social media. Be someone that you're going to want to follow. Don't try to be someone that you're not. Just because someone's not liking your post doesn't mean that they're not looking at them. What else? And then Brenda Martin, she talked about your why. That's obviously something that you first start out doing. You want to get your why down. It's your long-term vision for success in your business. And people don't buy what you do, they buy why you're doing it. So remember that. And remember that anything is possible if your why is big enough. So those were some really great things that I took away.
Thank you so much. I love that. And I love getting to hear from the different groups, because we didn't get to hear that. And I'm writing down all these acronyms. Those are awesome. I love it. So thank you. Okay, next we have Eric Stone, and he's going to talk about his breakout and the Ambassador breakout as well.
All right. Yeah, for the Supertrain, I'll just add a couple of things that we learned. Sheila Medina mentioned a question that I'm definitely going to use, and that's when you're talking with somebody, you can ask them, what's more important to you, health or wellness, or excuse me, health or wealth? And that obviously opens it up to which direction you're going to go. There's so many products you could talk about, or the business opportunity, but starting with that question really leads things in the right direction. So that one's definitely one that I'm going to start to use. Then Jessica just talked about going for no. They mentioned that the no is never about you, and that's hard to get through our minds sometimes, but it's not about us. And that no is really good in a lot of ways, because it really just means they need more information. Really, if you're throwing that out, if you're asking the question, do you want to start this? Is it something you want to do? Then and then they say no, or they throw up an excuse. That's just it. You're getting the objection. You're finding out where they need more information. And so that's a good thing. That's just something we have to reprogram in our heads so that we can keep going for the no and uncover their objections. The other thing that's really great for sales anyways is using the feel, felt, and found. And that's definitely something you have to practice. If you have someone you can practice that with, if you get comfortable with it, it works really well. And that's where someone gives you that objection, like, I don't think I can do Plexus. It's just too expensive. You say, oh, well, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found was when I got started, the money was an issue, and that can work for any kind of objection. So that's a great one. They talked a lot about closing, and one of the phrases was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? And then it lets you know exactly where you're at. And then again, uncovering objections. And another close was, is there any reason you can't get started today? Anyways, just uncovering those objections moves you closer to the end. I'll just make one more comment about the training, and that was on social media. I thought that there was obviously posting in the morning, noon, and afternoon, or 8 o'clock, 8, noon, and 8 was great. The one that had me scratching my head that I have to work on the most is they recommended doing, out of 15 posts, 10 of those being nothing about Plexus whatsoever. 4 of the 15 posts would be indirect, meaning you still mention nothing about Plexus. The example they gave was, I'm having such a great time at being in Las Vegas, not mentioning Plexus. I'm so glad I get to take trips and have fun with family. Still never mentioning Plexus, but indirectly it's because of Plexus. And then out of the 15 posts, having one of those being, actually about Plexus. So I thought that was really interesting. And that's all I'm going to give on the silver training. Do you want me to talk man cave stuff now, or do you want to talk later?
Yeah, that'd be great if you don't mind. I heard it was amazing.
Yeah, so I guess the man cave is the Facebook page. This was the Men of Plexus meeting. And so we had Jared Abart, Tim Thomas, Rob Heffley, Willie Eichenhorst, and Mr. Jen Hawkins. I say Mr. Jen Hawkins. He introduced himself that way, and now I don't even have notes. I didn't write down his first name. I couldn't find it.
Cody.
Anyways, what's that?
Cody.
Okay, Cody. Anyways, so the room, it was really, really full. I think it was great that they didn't expect that many people. That was overflowing. Now, here's the thing that I thought was most interesting about the number of people that were there. They did kind of a roll call to figure out kind of where the men were, or where they stood at. And first of all, by show of hands, it showed that about 10 to 20% of all the men in that room admitted that they were just there because, hey, it was Vegas, and I'm just going to go along and have fun, and that'd be for vacation. But understand that they went for that reason, and yet they still got up at 7 in the morning to go to that meeting and find out a little bit more. So that was really good. Then they took another show of hands, and they said, well, okay, so maybe you just came because it was Vegas, but they really wanted to find out who's really not sure about this thing, who's still really skeptical. Everybody's a skeptic, right? But who's still a skeptic? And the number of men in the room that were still very skeptical, didn't know about whether they were going to jump into the business or not, was still really high. About 25 to 35% of the room was like that. So especially for them, I mean, it was great because they're hearing from guys that are being successful, husband and wife teams that are working together. So that was really cool. Listen, there was tons of stuff there, but I think maybe the best takeaway was talking about setting a schedule, especially if you're working as a team, and being intentional about what you do all day long. And for the men, sometimes that means maybe it's taking care of the kids and preparing meals, stuff like that, so the wife can handle some of the business stuff, but working together as a team. And there's probably so much more that could be said, but I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much. I will say 2 things that stuck out to me, and I wasn't even there. The first thing, well, obviously the crowd was absolutely amazing. And second, seeing the guys that were speaking with Alec circled in prayer before the meeting, like, really just touched me, a whole lot, because I know us ladies, we do that most times, and to see them and to see Alec right in the middle of it was truly amazing. And just to see Scott, like, he is on fire, excited. Obviously, he's been very supportive, and he's helped me in very many ways, and he's worked his business, but like you said, he's helped me with the kids or making meals or letting me travel so I can go out and about. But y'all, was on fire in Vegas working his business. He came home and has emailed every single customer or ambassador that's ever dropped off, just trying to get them back. He's a different person. And so truly next year, if y'all can get your husbands there, I would highly recommend it. And Billy, he's not a skeptic. Like, obviously he's enrolled and totally believes in this, but to see his change has been really amazing too, just in the past, 3 or 4 days. So anyways, thank you so much, Eric, for doing that for us. Okay, so next we're moving on to the Gold Senior Gold. And first we're gonna start with Tiffany Martin.
All right. Sorry for the piano music accompaniment. It is what it is. Recital's coming up. Okay. So what I got from the breakout was something that it was really important because it's something I've been trying to work on a lot this year. And as your team begins to grow, you're doing more than just trying to sign new ambassadors and grow your team. You're also trying to lead your team in a more effective way. And one of the important things for you to do is plan your day and your week ahead of time. Be very protective of your time and chunk your time. And by chunking your time, it means, from this time to this time, I'm going to work out new personal development. And this time, if you have a regular job, you do your job, and then you come home and you have this chunk of time that's family time, and this chunk is Plexus time. And protect it, and don't let anything happen to it. And by protecting your time, you also need to be respectful of other people's time. And by that, multitasking is a myth. Focus on what you're doing at the time. Don't be on the phone with somebody, but also dealing with your kids in the background. If you're talking to a customer or potential or something like that, focus on what you're doing and be all present in where you are. Don't allow opportunity meetings and things like that to go too long. Set a time or a team meeting, set a time and do it, and don't let it go over, because that's disrespectful and people will quit coming to your stuff if it runs on and on. Make sure you have work time, personal development time, family time, and Plexus time. If you have another job, the work time. Work in the 4 quadrants, like Stephen Covey's 4 quadrants as much as possible: the urgent and important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, and neither of either of those things. Spend as little time as possible as you can in the urgent but not important, and not urgent and not important time. Don't get caught up on types of things that suck your time, like message threads with sidelines. Sidelines are important, and those relationships are important, and it's okay to occasionally engage, but don't let that suck up hours of your time. As it was said in the meeting, don't let Facebook become Wastebook, and the same with Messenger. Don't let other people's urgent needs take up your time. You've got to manage your time, and it's okay to respond here and there. But if it's not urgent or super important, then it shouldn't be your number one priority. You'll get to it when you get to it. New ambassadors with questions are much more urgent. If you have an ambassador who's been an ambassador for a long time and they should know better at this point, then you should take your time getting back to them, because they need to grow independence. And by not jumping right up on something, you're actually helping them grow that independence. Okay.
I'm about to say amen to all this. This is good stuff, Tiffany.
It is. It was really, really good.
I'm loving it.
Read John Maxwell's The 5 Levels of Leadership, because you can only lead to your level, and it talks about the leadership lid. Learn that and grow your lid through personal development. And personal development is a important but not urgent activity, and that's where you need to be spending the bulk of your time. Is important but not urgent, because then everything else seems to fall in place. They talked a lot about the 5-3-1. 5 is 5 reach outs and customer follow-ups a day. And if you're not doing the 5, don't move into the 3 and the 1. Unless you have the 5 scheduled for an appointment later in the day, you can go ahead and move on. But the 5 is the most important thing that you do all day long. And if you're not doing it, you shouldn't expect your team to be doing it either. You must lead by example and continue to grow yourself and your team. Your actions and signing people, reaching out and following up, growing your ambassadors, and things like that speaks so much louder than you telling your team to do something. Part of your 3 is like 3-way calls, following up your ambassadors and things like that. And the 1, grow yourself. Watch those videos. And they kept stressing the importance of growing yourself, because if you don't grow yourself as a leader, you're not going to be able to grow your team. That's it.
Awesome. That is great. I love listening to this. And I love that they have decided to do these breakouts every year, because it really does reach out to people on, like if I would have known that back then before now, I would have, it would have helped me balance my business and my life and all of that. And so I think that that's great. So thank you very much, Tiffany. Okay. So our next
thing I will say is that even Jen said when she very first started, she blocked her time. And from 8 to 10 at night was Plexus time once she got her babies to bed. So you can't think if I'm starting out, I have to be frantic at first and then I'll worry about doing that later. She said it's very important to start out that way.
It's very important, and it's very hard to switch back. I will say that. I try it all the time. So anyways, but I'm working on it. Okay, so next we have Jenny, and I hope I say it right. It's Edelman, right? Is that right? Oh, I'm great.
Yep. Perfect. I'm just Jenny Sue now, though. So, okay. So, thanks, Tiffany, for the recap. Because even though I was sitting right next to Tiffany, my edge didn't kick in yet, and I was not quite awake, and I couldn't even read my notes. So, but the few things that I want to take away from convention, I think, and I'll make this really quick. The first thing that I thought was really cool, no matter if you were at Breakout or anything at the convention, every leader who stood up, Jewel and above, they all said, I did not want to do this business. My friend had asked me 10 times, and I said, no, 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 no. And here we're like, you keep asking them until they say no. Well, apparently, keep asking them even after they say no, because it's crazy. And they're all like, oh, I just joined for Plexus wholesale pricing, and now they're all making 6 figures. So that was kind of like an aha moment, like, wow, don't give up on people that even tell you no. So I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of stuff that I was going to talk on has already been talked about. The shareables is pretty cool, but they had 4 slides up at one point, and the third one is saying, first, use social media. Second, develop your 30-second product commercial. Be a pro to the product. Write down your experiences and stay within product claims and being compliant. But the third slide was share 2 tools with your prospects. And so going to those shareables is pretty cool because, we can puke Plexus till we're blue in the face, but having them see something tangible that the company puts out, very professional, grab a shareable at their introduction. And then when you follow up a week later or a few days later, give them another shareable. And then always close with that. They have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so we can't forget to close with that. But the other 2 cool things is I think Megan touched on the roadmap. So those of you that weren't there, this hasn't been, I don't think, really released yet, but they're going to be coming up with this roadmap, and it actually looks like a roadmap, and it's your journey. So every time you hit another level, they're going to kind of mark it off on this roadmap and give you new tools and new information as you go. So they're going to really recognize you, not just with a certificate and a pin when you rank, but they're going to give you more tools, which is going to tie into that we're all going to have our own Facebook groups. So there's going to be the gold, senior gold group. And I've already been joined to one. I'm not sure if it's the corporate one, but
the gold, senior gold has already been started. Yes. So
okay, good. So
yes.
So, and then that'll just be a lot of information for us to have. And then when we rank next, we get the next one. So all fun stuff to look forward to. That's it.
I love that. Yeah. So from what I understand is when you rank up to the next level, you will get an email will go out to you, and it will have tools, training tips, things you might benefit from at that level. And so I think that's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. I'm not sure when that's rolling out, but I do know that is supposed to roll out at some point. So thank you so much, Jenny. Okay, so next we're going to go on to our Ruby, Senior Ruby. And so we're going to start with Kaylin West.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself real quick. So the Ruby Senior Ruby meeting was amazing. I know Emily was in there, and you can testify to this. It was just amazing. It was so good. Last year's was great. This year's was even better. So I had a lot of great takeaways, but I'll just hit on some high points. So Melissa Eichenhorst talked about building a team culture. And that really set in with me. It was so good. And she said a team culture can be the difference between a team of 10 and a team of 10,000. And she referred to someone that I know everybody kind of knows who they are, the McCalls, Chris and Susie McCall. and said, that they kind of developed a team culture on accident, but look what it's done for their team. And she went on to discuss or to talk about the ingredients for success. So I'm just going to quickly go through those and touch on those. The first one within your team is integrity. This is the main ingredient of that should set the tone for your team and your team culture. And if you don't uphold integrity, your team is going to follow. But if you do have integrity and work this business with integrity, your team will also follow that. So I always think that's the most important thing with anything in life. Being a friend, being a mom, being anything. People can see that through and through. Absolutely. So the next thing is to be united in vision and purpose and belief. Just in your vision, have your team see where they're going. Like, do they want to make $300 a month, or is their goal to be emerald, or is their goal to be diamond? Have them have a vision, like see where they're going, and that'll help them to stay in it. The next thing is purpose. Our purpose is to for health and financial freedom, to get it out to the masses. And then belief. We need to help our team and have belief in the company, belief in the products, and belief in the industry. And I know one thing that she said, and I say it a lot of times to new ambassadors who say, oh, I don't want to work the business yet. Like, use my testimony. And that's kind of borrowing my belief, because I have had such great results. My family and friends, they can borrow ours until they get their own. So that is a big thing. The next thing is duplication. That's the third thing, key to success. Duplication, that's an easy one. I know one of you already touched on the success kit. Use the success kit, y'all. It's awesome. Teach your team to use the success kit. Refer your people to the success kit. Honestly, when I first started, I did not even open it up. That's just not my nature to go to it. But y'all, our new success kit is absolutely amazing. And I use it every day. I use those cards. They're awesome. They're easy. They're great. So teach that. Teach duplication. What we do, our team is going to do, whether you have a team of 2 or a team of 10,000. That's how you're going to help cultivate that team culture. The next thing is, and I think this is so important, is emphasize and embrace one Plexus. I know all of us on here, we're all on Beth's team, but we're all also on different teams. And I love how in Plexus, we're all out to help each other. And I think that's so important to embrace that and not just be out for yourself. That kind of goes back to that integrity. I want everybody in the company to rank up and do well. And I'm not just looking out for myself, but I want everyone to succeed and do well. So emphasize that, embrace that, cultivate that in your teams. Or try to join them with sidelines from other teams. That just helps everyone to grow and to get better. So the next thing, the fifth thing, is encourage dating. So when you're on your team, or when you have a team page, just as soon as you have a team, you set up a team page, communicate with your team every single day. One thing that she said that I thought was so good was silence will crush team culture. So if you're not communicating with your team, it's going to go away. You're not going to create any kind of culture there. She talked about a lot using like the Facebook Live and doing videos for your team, even if it's out of your comfort zone. Do it, y'all. This is something that I've started doing a lot with my team. And it's great because you can't go back and erase it. If I do a video, I go back and redo it like 50,000 times. But if you do it live, you can't start over. So you just go with it. And it also, doing the Facebook Live helps you to be who you are. So it helps me to remain true to myself instead of faking who I am on a video that I can redo 50,000 times. So, and I think that's so important for your team to see. The next thing, I'm just trying to zip through this quickly. There were so many notes and so many good things. Oh, sorry, I have a little friend. Is to establish a solid system of recognition. And I think this is so good. I had one of my team members this week say, I could care less about trips. I could care less about prizes. but a pat on the back is what I live for. And so that just reemphasizes this. Recognize your people who do, sorry, y'all. Just recognize people who do meetings, people who get over $100 for the first time in PV, people who, do anything. Once they hit 500, recognize those people. Because when I first started, I always did a $300 club because I felt like it was so important to recognize those people who maybe didn't hit 500, but hit 300, and that was big for them. The next thing is building relationships will build a team culture, or will help to nurture that culture. So build a relationship with all of your team. Talk to your team. Have brainstorming sessions on a Zoom with your team. Do all of those things. She said one thing that's so important is to get to know the why of all of your level ones, which I think is so, I have not really, I've done that with the ones that I talk to all the time, but no, I don't know all of my level one whys. So that's one thing that I am working toward in the next few weeks. So, and the last thing, because I'm out of time really, is to empower leaders. Identify the top 20% on your team, not only your friends, but identify those top 20%, those top runners who really want the business, and go for it. Just help them to succeed. That building leaders within your team is what is going to build your team, is what she had said. So anyways, I thought it was great. And I'll end with the last thing. One of the quotes that she gave us was by John Maxwell. It says, leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. So that's all I have. It was awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Kaylin. And I just wanted to hit on what she was talking about, like getting out of your comfort zone. We talked about that too, and we'll talk about that when we get to our section. But y'all, I didn't do a video until I had been diving for a long time. Sabrina, I think she's on here somewhere. I can't see her, but she remembers that. I was in Hawaii for my first time, and that was so nerve-wracking for me. But here's the deal. We're all just real people. And when I get on there, especially now that it's live, I never rewind anyways, even if it's not live. I mumble and I say wrong words and I say and all of that, but that's just me. And so I just want to encourage you to absolutely step out of your comfort zone and do videos for your team. That's a huge one. So thank you, Kaylin. Okay, so next we have Senior Ruby, Emily Wood. You got to unmute. There you
Sorry.
go. That's okay.
Okay, thank you, Kaylin. You did an awesome job sharing Melissa's portion of our little presentation. We had an excellent time with senior Rubies and Rubies. I'm going to share a little bit of what Helen McFadden shared with us. I'll be quick. I want to be so respectful of everyone's time. The main thing she focused on was coaching and how to be a good coach for our teams that were growing. I love how she started it off and said that coaching is connecting. And I just love that so much. I know we've heard over and over how this business is just about building relationships. And I think part of being an effective and good coach and leader is just connecting with your team. And so it really spoke to me. It was something I needed to hear just for me personally on what I need to do just to kind of help with my team and being a better coach. So I'm going to quickly just kind of go through some things she shared. The definition of coaching, she said, is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance, is helping them to learn rather than teaching them, which I think is so important. So many times we want to help when an ambassador or anybody reaches out. And I think a lot of it is having them go and find the answers as well. I think that you can learn so much by going and finding the information you need. Obviously, you want to reach out to your sponsor as much as you can, but I think doing it on your own is also really important to help you learn. Our objectives as coaches is to understand the value of coaching. We need to know the basics, learn the basics of our company. We need to learn how to lead with questions and be a better listener rather than talking all the time. And just to remember that it's not about us, it's about them. It's about our team. It's about our level ones, our level twos, our level threes. One of the questions she asked us was, why do we coach? And some of the answers she gave was to build relationships through one-on-one conversation. We coach to hold the ambassador accountable to their goals and their future. discover their successes and challenges to guide, redirect, and applaud consistently. And we also need to focus on ambassadors coming up with answers themselves by asking questions and giving support, kind of putting it back on them. Like Kaylin said, asking their why, what their why is, and then giving as much support as we can for that. I love one thing she said. She compared coaching versus training and said that coaches ask and trainers tell. So I loved that. Just, I think her big thing was just constantly asking those questions as part of connecting with them instead of, being the dictator and telling them how to do it, just asking them what their needs are. She gave some fundamental coaching skills. I keep saying it again. One of the ones was asking questions, always open-ended questions, asking your ambassador, help me understand what your why is. Help me understand why you're doing this. Tell me more about such and such. And I love this percentage, listening 80% of the time and talking 20% of the time. So my big takeaway from her was just being a good listener and just finding the needs of your team and hearing them and being supportive of them. Okay, let me see. I'm going to kind of go through quick. We had another speaker, Kristen Abart. Is that how you say her last name? Yeah. Okay. I loved some things she touched on, just how to growing your team was kind of her focus. And one of the things she said was it's important to get everyone on the product, but it's also really important to sign up influential people. She talked about how to really grow a team, and signing influential people was huge for her success. She said it all starts with you. And your team duplicates what they can see. And again, we've all heard it, duplication over and over. I really like this takeaway. This is one of my big ones that I got from Kristen. She asked the question, does your team see you doing the following? Making daily IPA a priority, income producing activities. Does your team see you sponsoring new people? Does your team see you getting new customers and being excited about your new customers? Does your team see you helping your new team members get to silver? Does your team see you participating in business launches, Facebook events, and Zooms? And does your team see you investing time in personal growth? I think so much of it has to do with just leading by example. And if your team doesn't see you being involved in those things, then they, might not want to be involved either. One other thing I took away was her formula for momentum. I feel like coming back from conventions like this, it's like you come back on that high, like when we were kids and went to youth camp, and you were just on this huge high. And I feel like coming back from convention, we have that momentum going. We're on a little bit of a high. And so her formula for momentum was the attitude of the leader plus the atmosphere of the organization plus the accomplishments of the people equals the momentum. And she got that from John Maxwell. So I love that little equation that she gave us. I'm going to end with leaders who build a culture of momentum, believe the best about their people, and provide an inspiring and contagious vision, and remove the fear of failure, which I know is hard. Fear of failure will get you. But anyway, I loved both of these speakers. I think they did a great job. And piggybacking on what Kaylin spoke about with Melissa, I think we had a really great session. So those were my takeaways.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Sorry if I went too fast.
Oh, no, you're good. You know what? My favorite thing you said, and I say it all the time, is you have to lead by example. And if you're not doing meetings, and if you're not hopping on Zooms and leading Zooms, if you're not reaching out to your level ones, if you're not sponsoring, if you're not adding new customers, your team will not do it, because they're looking to you to see what you do and how you do it. And if you're not doing those things, you cannot expect them to do those things. And so it's very, very, very important. So I think you should commit to, even if it is outside of your comfort zone, guys. I mean, I remember the first meeting I did, and Emily, you may have been there. It was at my house, and I was shaking sick to my stomach, and it was my friend. I was so nervous because I don't speak in front of people, but I did it. And so each one has gotten so much easier. And so don't think too much into it, just do it. And so but you have to lead by example. You cannot expect your team to do things that you are not doing. So anyways, all right, so thanks, guys. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the Jewel session, which Arielle and I got to participate in. And I just want to say this. It is so fun getting to do this with Arielle and one of my friends. And if you have a good friend that's not doing Plexus or is doing Plexus but didn't go to convention or whatever, you grab them and you do it. I mean, we had so much fun this week, and we sat next to each other the entire time, and we learned together. And this is just an amazing opportunity to be with your friends. I mean, who gets to go to work with your girlfriends, right? And so it's so much fun. And I know Arielle would agree. I'm not saying she has so much fun with me, but she has so much fun with me. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I'm going to let Arielle go first, and she can touch on some of the things that we learned in our dual payment.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Beth. And just to kind of piggyback on what Beth said, she's absolutely right. Doing this with friends is the best. Beth and I were friends before Plexus, and I think Plexus has actually strengthened our bond and our friendship. So we sat together every single day, hung out. It was great. So my notes, I'll just speak briefly. I know we might be running a little late. And me and Beth didn't talk, so feel free to come in anytime and have the same things. We didn't plan this out. Our first speaker for our Jewel training was actually Alec Clark, and it was amazing. He came up and spoke. He cried with us. We cried with him. Just know that he is 100% committed to every single one of us. I already had belief, but after watching him stand up there and humble himself and cry, I mean, truly, this man is an amazing, amazing person. We are so lucky to be doing Plexus. So understand that, first of all. Some of the things he talked about was boundaries and living a balanced life. And I know that Beth and I both sometimes struggle with that. It's definitely hard, and I'm sure most of you can agree. We all have families, we all have kids, but we really need to set boundaries. He said that work should enhance our life and not take away from it. So that really kind of struck a chord with me. I get into Plexus mode, and I want to do Plexus like 24/7. Sometimes it'll be 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and I'm texting my team, and I'm like, okay, we need to balance everything. He said we need to schedule time each day to work our business. We have to set those boundaries, be it 9 to 3, 8 to 5, 9 to 12, whatever it is. Those are our work hours. And during those times, we always say to make sure that our team knows our work hours. But on the same thing, we need to make sure that our family knows. So if I say from 8 to 10 p.m. is my work hours, my family also needs to be respectful that that is my Plexus time. He said we need to concentrate on business building activities when you're in the business mode. And I know a lot of people spoke on that today, doing your 5-3-1. Don't reinvent the wheel. Plexus has given us so many incentives, especially here at convention. I know everybody kind of talked about them already. The success on demand, that's going to be awesome. Really excited about that. I believe Jenny spoke about the rank up roadmap. Super excited about that. That's going to be a great tool for our ambassadors. And then the 300 club and the 500 club, this consistency club, I think that's going to be great. You're focusing on building your personal volume, you're maintaining your customer base, and adding new customers. So there's a lot of new incentives that Plexus is doing for us. And of course, Leaders Retreat. Who doesn't love Leaders Retreat? So don't reinvent the wheel. Use those tools. Use the shareables. I don't know if you guys have used those yet. I did one post since we've been back using the shareables, and I'm computer stupid. So if I could do it, anybody.
It's so easy. I'm right there with Arielle. We don't know what to do on computers.
No.
And they're so easy. You literally click a button. So
yeah. Go ahead, and I just wanted to share some of the stuff from Alec Clark. So.
Yeah, awesome. I have to agree with Arielle. We had how our session was set up, we had Alec, and then we had a speaker, and then we had a diamond panel. And I just want to tell y'all, and Arielle just touched on it, let me tell you about Alec Clark. He's the real deal, y'all. I mean, he is absolutely amazing. And I know for me, we're around him, at different things. And so we truly know that he's like that. But even with him speaking that, it just, reaffirmed it 1,000,000%. He had all of us in tears. But with Scott being with me this time and being able to be in that meeting and see him for who Alec really was, I was so excited about that, because like Arielle said, he was in tears, y'all. And this is his thing. He said that's what he talks about, boundaries, because we all have to do, put boundaries on this business. This business is amazing. We could work this business 24/7, but that's not the freedom that we long for, correct? And so his thing, and he will say it, he says, faith, family, Plexus. And that's the way it should be. Your faith should be first, your family should be second, and Plexus should be after that, right? And so, there's times in our lives where that gets mixed up, and he totally sat there and owned up to him doing that. And I will tell you this, you will see his family was at convention. His family's in Hawaii with him. He talks about his faith all the time. He got up there on stage and talked about his faith. Tears in his eyes, guys. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But that doesn't take away about how passionate he is for Plexus. And I'm telling you, you hear stories after stories after stories of, his quote, "If you're blessed, be a blessing." Him doing that and him acting that out in his life. He should be a role model for each and every one of us. He should be a role model for our kids. We have amazing leaders. And if you don't believe that, and if you don't believe 1,000,000% in Plexus, then we need to talk on the side, because this is the right time to be in this company. This company is amazing. And I can't get over. I mean, but Arielle, he had us in tears. He had every one of us in tears, because he is such truly an amazing man.
And I don't cry easily. Those of you that know me, I'm tough exterior. I don't cry. So awesome.
But he's amazing. So the next speaker we had I don't have my paper right in front of me. She was the creator of Baby Einstein. I know all of y'all that have kids have probably used the Baby Einstein videos.
Julie Clark.
That's right. I'm sorry. I have other notes here and that somewhere else. But anyways, and what I took away from her, she kind of told us her story and her success and how she got started in Baby Einstein. And she really just wanted something for her kids. And she thought, we think all of our babies are Baby Einsteins, right? And so, what she talked about was getting out of that comfort zone. And so she was like, she made the video, and she's like, how am I going to market this? Like, how am I going to get people to like this? You know what she did? She literally called up CNN and said, I need to talk to, I think it was like the family director or producer or whatever, and got through to her and said, hey, I am so-and-so. I just made this video. It's called Baby Einstein. I would love, for you to look at it. And she just happened to be at that same time doing a series on kids that aren't stimulated as babies, infants, and the difference. And so they took her story, and because she was brave and because she had courage and was bold, and called CNN, and that her story was aired on CNN, y'all, for the first, it never been aired anywhere else but on CNN, and that's how Baby Einstein grew. And so she ended up selling it to Disney for, I don't even remember, millions and millions of dollars. But crazy story. So Julie Clark, you can look up her story, but it was amazing. And then we had the Diamond panel. And guys, these are our friends, and we're around these people all the time. But I want to tell you what we know is, people sometimes look at diamonds as, whatever. They're just normal people that said no. They're just normal people who, like I said, say and y'all and and, mess up and don't know exactly what to do. But what have they done? They've been bold, they've been courageous, and they figured it out. They haven't quit. They've learned. They've done whatever it takes to succeed. They keep growing. They encourage their team, their friends. And so, reach out to those people. I mean, watch what they're doing. Follow them on Facebook. And dream to be that. I would have never in a million years, if you told me I was going to be a diamond whenever I signed up, I would have laughed hysterically, because I didn't look at myself as a leader. I didn't look at myself as someone that's smart. I mean, I went to college, but I got my general studies degree because I changed my major so many times. But you know what? It's about relationships, and it's about friendships, and it's about believing in something, and it's about having passion in something. And so I want you to grab hold of that, because if I can do it, I promise you anybody can do it. The other things, we're super excited about our new product, Edge. Who's taking it? Raise your hand. Yes, everybody liking it for the most part. I'm excited. I don't have jitters. So that it's a great time to reach out to old customers, to reach out to old ambassadors, email them, call them, talk to them, share them, because who knows who will come back. People come back all the time, and this is a great time to get them to Block. Who's excited about Block not having to wait 30 minutes? That's amazing, and I've been doing it since convention. It's totally helping. I mean, I probably have eaten like a fourth of what I've been eating over the past couple months in the past week. I went to Vegas and actually lost weight, which is crazy, right? Go on vacation and lose weight. But the block that, that we can just do it immediately, start calling people and telling people about that. Because I know that's been a big thing. People can't remember to take the block 30 minutes beforehand. Now they don't have to. I mean, we have a bottle sitting out on our counter and I have a bottle in my car. And so wherever I am, I can just take that right as we eat, and that helps tremendously. So, and again, just the tools that corporate has started for us. I mean, corporate stepped it up like 1,000,000% this year at convention, right? I mean, they have added so many new things. The new executives, the new leaders of this company, it's just like, it's a whole different company. And we love Plexus then, and we really love Plexus now. And I'm just thankful that they're doing all these things. It's going to help us be successful for sure. The training, just even the product knowledge. We learned so much about the products when they were introduced this time, right? And so now we can take that, and now we have the tools that corporate is sending us, like the shareables and all of that. Those are amazing things. So again, if you have not ever been to convention, get to convention next year. If you need to start saving $20 a month now to get to convention, start saving $20 a month now to get to convention. Your Plexus life will be changed. Your life will be changed. And, that kind of sounds like cultish or weird. Emily said it best, and that's how I explained it to people before convention. It was like going to like church camp whenever you were young growing up and you're so fired up. I mean, you cannot compare Jesus to Plexus, obviously. We love Jesus more than Plexus. But just getting fired up and getting being around people with a common mindset and being around Plexus people is lots of fun. I mean, you're not going to see so many smiles. I remember people like dragging, like when we would go to meetings for real jobs and stuff, and how boring is this? But it's fun, and you're just like listening to every word, and you want to be there, and your friends are there, and you're meeting friends. And I just love getting to meet so many of you that I had not met before, and seeing the ones that I did know before. That's just one of my favorite parts. But the last thing I want to talk about is Leaders Retreat. It's going to be so much fun. It is always off the wall, crazy, fun, learning, amazing. They treat us so well. You want to be at Leaders Retreat. So I want you to set your goal now. We know to get there, you have to have 750 points. It's done the same way as convention. You add it by new customers, new ambassadors, and PV. I want you to mark down on your daily goal. How many people are you going to have to get today? How many people are you going to have to contact to get this many people this week to get to your goal? Is your goal just getting to Leaders Retreat? That's an amazing goal. Is your goal to getting the $3,000 Nordstrom shopping spree? That's fun, right? Don't just say that's what you want. You can say that, yeah, that's what we all want, obviously, is to hit the very biggest prize, right? But you can't just say that and not figure out how to get there. You have to make a plan on how you're going to get those 4,000 points. So how many people are you going to have to sponsor? How many people, how many team members are you going to have to add? How much PV are you going to have to get to that goal? And if you need help figuring that out, message me or Arielle, because we will help. We want you there. We want you hitting goals. We want to help you. But you want to be there. And it's not just something you want to miss out on. It'll be an amazing, amazing time. Every year, it's better than the last. And so anyways, get there. But again, we're so thankful that so many of y'all were at convention. I don't even know how many team members we had. I mean, at convention, tons and tons. And so it was such a great time. Thank you all for hopping on today. Thank you for our speakers. Thank you, Jocelyn, for taking notes whenever you get done with the notes. If you'll just add them on the team page, and then I'll share them on Arielle's page. And if you ever need anything, if you need firing up, if you need help with anything, you just message me or Arielle, and we will be there. So anyways, y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.